don't care what they say. I'm not sitting there.
And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance, and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime!
Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. What's good, fam? Hey, listen, man, first off, I want to welcome everybody to the channel. And if you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. Now look, Danny Garcia, former WBC welterweight champion, will be making his return to the ring this Saturday, January 25th, against Ivan Redkach. Now, the narrative that's going around, I hear a lot of people saying it. I'm seeing a lot of tweets on Twitter. A lot of people saying that, Redkach may upset Danny Garcia.
Well, we don't believe you. You need more people.
Personally, I don't believe this to be the case. Ivan Redkach is, 23-4 with one draw. He's been knocked out 2 times, once by John Molina Jr., and another time by Devon Latitianing. Now, you remember Devon Latitianing is the guy Mikey Garcia knocked out for his title when he came back after, being off for 2.5 years. He also lost a unanimous decision to Tevin Farmer, and he lost a split decision against Orgenis Mendez, man. Ivan Redkach, let me tell you this. He's a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? I will give him that. He's a tough guy. He comes to fight. His last fight, he just knocked out Devon Alexander. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people's going off that performance that he had against Devon Alexander, which was a very, very good performance. But you got to understand who he was up against. Devon Alexander, he was not with his longtime coach, Kevin Cunningham. I believe Roy Jones Jr. trained him for that fight. You know what I'm saying? We know that Alexander has had problems with opioids in the past. Kevin Cunningham, he let it be known on a PBC podcast sometime last year that, he told Devon that he wasn't going to train him no more because he didn't want him to get hurt. He realized Devon wasn't the same Devon, that obviously he was back to doing things he wasn't supposed to do. And, he cared about him too much and said he wasn't going to train him anymore. And out of the blue, Devon says, okay, I'm going to go get Roy Jones Jr. So he goes in there with Roy Jones Jr. and get knocked out by Ivan Redkach. And everybody is really high on Redkach because he knocked out Devon Alexander. But Redkach is a guy who's going to come to fight. He's a southpaw. He got a couple inches on Danny. I think he's about 5'10", 5'11". Danny's, 5'8". He got a couple inches in reach. I believe he got like a 71 in reach. Danny has probably a 68, 67 and a half inch reach. So, it may be a tricky fight for Danny, being that he's a southpaw. He's taller. He's longer. I believe he's training with Sugar Shane Mosley. Since being with Sugar Shane, I've seen him popping his jab a lot more, so his jab may give Danny problems. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that this is going to be a easy fight by any means for Danny Garcia, but I do expect Danny Garcia to win. I expect Danny Garcia to win because he still has a lot to prove. You know what I'm saying? Danny Garcia wants the Manny Pacquiao fight. He wants the Errol Spence fight. In other words, Danny Garcia is still chasing the bag, man. He has not got that big payday that he has been desperately searching for the last couple years, man. He wants that pay-per-view money. And he'll be damned if he let an Ivan Redkach stand in the way of that big payday, man. Danny Garcia just ain't going to allow it. I know what a lot of people say. They call him a cherry picker. Danny Garcia, he hasn't really, every time he stepped up at welterweight, he lost. He stepped up with Keith Thurman, he lost a split decision. He stepped up with Shawn Porter. He lost a unanimous decision. But everybody who watched both of those fights know that both of those fights with both of those guys were very, very tough fights that could have gone either way. It just depends on, what the judges were looking at. And obviously, they liked what Shawn Porter was doing, and they liked what Keith Thurman was doing. In my opinion, I think that in the Shawn Porter's fight was more convincing than the Keith Thurman fight. I thought Danny Garcia did not do enough in the later rounds to secure a victory. He was not busy enough, you know what I'm saying? So that one, you know what I'm saying, I definitely I see Porter winning, but the fight with Thurman was a close fight. That one really, really could have gone either way. But people say he lost to Lamont Peterson. That was a very close fight. Danny Garcia dominated the first half of that fight. Lamont Peterson came back to dominate the second half of that fight. It all depends on what you like and how many of those first couple rounds you gave Lamont Peterson. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people thought he lost to Herrera. I was one of those dudes, man. He got some a little bit of love over there in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? He went over there and the judges judged in his favor, man. But I believe that Herrera beat him that night. But he got a gift. So his record stands at, 35-2, 35-2 with 21 KOs. Danny Garcia still could fight, man. He could still fight. In the amateurs, he was the standout. He dominated the 140-pound division, unified titles. And, he came up to 147. He won the WBC strap by defeat. It was a vacant strap, I do believe. He defeated Robert the Ghost Guerrera. That was one of PBC's earlier fights. But Danny Garcia, I could see why people think that, he's not what he say he is, because, when he stepped up, he has not performed. But me, I believe in Danny Garcia. I like Danny Garcia. I see that he's working different. Like I said, for the last couple fights, he hired a strength condition coach, and he came out and looked sensational against Adrian Granados. Adrian Granados, rough, tough, dangerous, never been stopped. I can't remember anybody just dominating Adrian Granados. But what did Danny come and do? He came in, dominated him, dropped him a couple times, and then put him away. You know what I'm saying? That tells me right there that Danny Garcia is, he's hungry. You could see after the Errol Spence Shawn Porter fight, Danny Garcia, he like Mikey Garcia. He's seen something. Why do I say he's seen something? Because he jumped in the ring after the match with Errol Spence. He said it was spontaneous and challenged him. Said, "I want you, fam. I want you next." And that was supposed to be on the books, man, before Spence's car accident. You know what I mean? So, Danny wants to step up, man. Danny wants to step up, and he's not going to let Ivan Redkach get in his way from getting the bag, getting that Manny Pacquiao fight, getting that Errol Spence fight, ultimately getting the pay-per-view fight. So I got Danny Garcia, man, via knockout or via unanimous decision, but I'm going for the stoppage, man. I think Danny Garcia will get Ivan Redkach out of here. Like I said, he's been knocked out by John Molina. We know John Molina could punch, though. He also been knocked out by this guy, Argenis Mendez, who I really not too familiar with. I believe that was back in 2015 or 16. But yeah, man, Danny Garcia, he's the real deal, man. He's hungry, and I think he'll get by Redkach to chase bigger dreams, man. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram at Big Faces Worldwide, all one word. But in the meantime and in between time, stay blessed and keep on supporting this sport that we love called boxing. Peace. I holla back.
A down-ass nigga, a down-ass hood, a down-ass click, down to serve a nigga good. A down-ass nigga, a down-ass hood, a down-ass click, down to serve a nigga good.